By the way, it's not whether you're 102 watching it, doesn't matter. I was going to say a word there.
FM.
Ocean Drives films on Thursday with Eclipse Dine-In Cinemas Bundoran. Now serving pizza, hot dogs, ice cream and more. To your seat. Find out more at Eclipse.
Sounds good, Colie. Popcorn, ice cream, the whole lot. How are you?
Francie, welcome back. It's brilliant to see you. What a pleasant surprise it is, standing in for Seamie. Although I might have to argue with you about a well-earned break. But, you know, a break.
Oh, Seamie, yeah.
And you know, I feel like I'm on a mission here straight away, Francie, because just before we gone on air, you said, well, I can't remember the last time I went to cinema. So I'm going to be talking about these 4 movies, and I'm going to try and talk you into going, because we've good ones this week, and I'm going to try and persuade you that the cinema is the way to go in the future.
Oh, no, like I would genuinely be a big fan. It's just, I sometimes forget about it, and I should go, actually, yeah.
Well, let's see if I can talk you into it.
Right, because the first one looks class. I'm going to give just a wee clip of it at the minute. This is September 5. I'll give you 20 or 30 seconds of it, and then we're going to get to that because there is a local element to this-ish. Not really about the movie, but where it happened anyway.
Ready, camera one. Hit it.
Good morning, I'm Jim McKay speaking to you live from the Olympics in Munich, West Germany.
Talk me through the day.
Starts with volleyball, then there's boxing.
Good. It's America versus Cuba.
Sure you want to bring in the politics?
It's not about politics. It's about emotions.
And we're clear.
Great job, everyone.
Do you hear that?
Were those gunshots?
What's the situation?
The police are reporting that armed terrorists have attacked the Israeli athletes.
There's a hostage situation going on right now in the Olympic Village.
ABC wants news to take over.
Your sports, you're in way over your head.
400 yards away from where this is happening.
We are the only people capable of following it live. This is our story, and we're keeping it.
What do I tell the cameras?
What do you mean?
I mean, can we show someone being shot on live television?
We're on.
The peace of what have been called the Serene Olympics was shattered this morning. The games are still going on. Within a few hundred yards, 9 terrified living human beings are being held prisoner.
You need to understand how sensitive this situation is.
These are just local cops doing things they have never done before.
We'll make it broadcast history. More people have seen this than watch Armstrong land on the moon.
Now, police are on the roof.
Oh, guys.
That's a TV. Are they seeing what we're seeing?
What are you talking about?
Are the terrorists seeing this?
Our job is to tell the story of these individuals whose lives are at stake.
It's not okay if we made it worse.
It's a madhouse down here.
They know the whole world is watching. If they shoot someone on live television, whose story is that? Is it ours or is it theirs?
Colie, there were gunshots, isn't that it? That's September 5. Tell us the story.
Yeah, so it's about the attack on the Israeli athletes in Munich in 1972. Although the film isn't really about the attack. We never see inside the apartments or anything like that. It's about the live coverage. And of course, we're talking about a time where having, you know, it was the first Olympics to have live broadcasts to the States from Europe. It was a huge big deal. They had satellites to do it in color. Clearly the TV companies were sharing satellites, and it was a really big deal. So suddenly there's this attack near the end of the Olympics, and the people who are there in the situation are the sports team, not the news team. And like when you think about when something happens now, we have people out with cameras immediately. And, you know, there's always a crew that can get filming pretty quick and people fly out straight away. This 1972, this was not the case.
Yeah.
So they had to make the decision. Were they going to get the sports reporters to report on this? And what should they do? They had cameras pointed at it, and they had to have this debate that they say, should we cover this? What do we do? You know, the Olympics was still carrying on, and there's these hostages with a camera pointed at the window, and the morality of what do we do. And like one of the things that was happening was the same people holding the athletes hostage were watching the same TV that they were broadcasting. Things that are so commonplace now. I suppose we live in a multimedia world. We can't escape news. These were big decisions. And I would imagine, people like yourself, I know Shane Smith would be the same, who have worked in media and tech. This is, aside from the huge human story, it's such a dramatic story. There's so much cutting and splicing of tape here. I'd say you'd love it.
And that's what I was going to ask. Like, a lot of people kind of love watching behind the scenes and stuff. Sometimes, when you're posts and stuff, even behind the scenes, the radio behind the scenes or something, people kind of go, oh, that's really interesting. So do you get a sense of that with this kind of like the chaos and obviously how technology has moved on?
Humongously so. Like one of the things, so we're going out the radio now, but I am videotaping this on Zoom and we're going to put it up and I'll write a caption on the screen so easily. And there's bits where they're putting up the captions. I didn't realize how they did it. But even stuff like how to get a phone line live broadcast on the radio at the time, they had to wire it in. So there's lots of nuts and bolts about that. But also, nobody had ever covered anything like this. And they're just saying, what happens if someone's shot? There's a huge ethics conversation. And I tell you one of the things that happened to me when I was watching this. So it happened in 1972, and I've just been watching the TV show Say Nothing about the Troubles in Northern Ireland. And I remember that starts in 1972 too. And I remember thinking, wow, 1972, the year before I was born, look where we are now. Thank God we're not there anymore. And you're watching this and you're going, God, we're still there with Israel and Palestine. We're still there. But what isn't there is they were honestly running and checking 5 times before they would report anything. And you go, nowadays, we're straight on Twitter. We're straight on.
So what you're saying, they were fact checking.
They were fact checking.
What they should have been.
And there's
By the way, I wanted... I thought, no, I was just going to say, remember I was saying before that there was a local element to this. So PJ Leddy, who's from Manor Hamilton and works for Ocean FM and Leeds from Observer and all that sort of stuff. And his brother Eddie Leddy competed at the Munich Games in 1972. Yes. So and he lives out in I'm going to say Tennessee, but he was at the Munich Games in 72, and PJ was supposed to be there, only for he got injured doing a marathon earlier on that year. And he had something wrong with the foot or the blisters or something like that. But Eddie was there. But Eddie said at the time, he was interviewed by Austin here on Ocean FM. He completed in the 3,000-meter steeplechase that summer. They were next door to where this was happening. As in, I know we don't see inside with what was happening with the hostages and various different things, but the Irish delegation was next door to what was happening.
Now that you say it, I wonder, was it like done alphabetically? The allocation for the athletes. Ireland,
Yes.
And it is that madness. And I should say as well, I thought it was a really good film. It's very tense, really interesting. And also, I showed my bias, right? When you did that teaser before the thing, it said there's a connection to one of the movies. We're about to talk about a sheep farming drama set in Wicklow. And I was sure that's what the connection was going to be.
No, it's September 5.
Typical Dublin attitude, isn't it?
She's coming up here.
I out myself. But no, I think both, if you like behind the scenes, and there's very good actors in this, Peter Sarsgaard, Ben Chaplin, and all that, but it's an ensemble piece. It reminded me a bit of Spotlight, the film about the child abuse in Boston, in that it's the process, it's how you find out what you should do, rather than the story of the victims or anything like that themselves. I was fascinated, and I realised while I knew most of the story, it's before I was born, I didn't know all of the story. And I would imagine an awful lot of people would go into this not knowing how it was reported, not knowing what happened in the case. And I would say maybe keep it that way till you watch the movie. Excellent, proper, grown-up, good acting, clever movie. It's upsetting, but it's a 12A, it's not explicit in anything, because it's more about the decisions we make. And I really enjoyed it. I think you would like it too.
Okay, great. And look, if you're, as I say, whether you know anything about the Munich in 1972, or you're a bit of a tech head and love behind the scenes, all that. September 5, by the way, it's in cinemas now. Bring Them Down.
Yeah.
Is this set in the country or
it's set in Wicklow. It's set in Wicklow. And you might
actually that's Dublin. That's not the country.
Yeah. Well, you might be thinking there violence in Wicklow, but I have been to our first communion in Bray, so I'm used to this sort of stuff. Well, I think, I'm from South County Dublin. I'm right from the Dublin Mountains, and you go 5 minutes more, and it's Wicklow. But no, this is very rural. It could be. I don't think they actually mention where they are as much as the film was actually made in Wicklow, and it's about two families. This is something that will run. People around here will know. Anyway, two families. They kind of adjoining land, and they don't get on, and clearly they haven't been getting on for years and years and years. And there's all sorts of stuff going. And one of them, his two prize rams go missing. And the others say, "Oh, look, we found them dead. We threw them in the slurry pit." But then he spots two rams at the mart and goes, "I'm pretty sure they're my rams." And it just escalates from this. And I have to say, I watched this at 8 a.m. this morning, right? Which is it was a beautiful sunny morning. It's an odd time to watch it because this is a dark, dark movie. I don't think there's really one joke in it or anything. It's just ratchets up
over two rams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it starts over two rams.
All right, okay.
And then it's all about the livestock. See, I knew you'd doubt me here as well. Going, sure, who would fall out over two rams? But obviously, there's been family feuds going on. And it's all poor decision after poor decision of rather than somebody going, come on, lads, cop on. They just ratchet it up and the shotguns come out and the violence begins. And Barry Keoghan is in this.
Yeah.
He's so good. And like, fair play to him. He's hit his Hollywood A-lister stuff, but he seems to be determined to do small, odd movies. And he's his usual awkward, quirky self that you don't know if you like him or you can't stand him. And he's at the heart of all the trouble and all the bad decisions. The acting is super. It's really tense. Like, if you've ever seen this movie I thought of is called Dead Man's Shoes with Paddy Considine. It's one of those revenge thrillers where no good is going to come of this. You get that feeling of foreboding. I thought it was really good, really dark. Again, 15 A's, but it's very good, but very intense.
Worth watching. So let's Bring Them Down, which is in cinemas now.
If you like really serious, hard men, sort of, really, it's a Western set in Wicklow. If you imagine that, like, it's that sort of stuff. People aren't saying a lot, but their eyes are saying everything.
They're saying everything. We have a minute left, right?
Okay.
Two things. Dogman. Give me 30 seconds. It's a comedy, or it's a comedy animated.
Comic. I am 50. I'm just about to turn 52. Francie, I'm way too old for this movie.
No.
I watched it this afternoon. I laughed from start to finish. It is brilliant. It's made by the people who made Captain Underpants. If any of the parents out there, parents who dread taking their kids to a movie, this is hilarious. Half man, half dog, all hero. I had such a good time in it. I'm such a child.
By the way, it's not whether you're 102 watching it, doesn't matter. I was going to say a word there. Doesn't matter.
But it doesn't. It's dead right. This is a good one. It's so silly. I love it.
Dogman, 20 seconds. That was Dogman, which is an animated comedy. I can't pronounce this other one.
Nosferatu. It's kind of remake of the original Dracula movie. Speaking of local connections, it's on a Monday for a $5. If you like classical horror, really dark gothic stuff, it's really good fun. Well done, and it's very good. €5 on Monday. What more can I say than that?
By the way, so these are all in Eclipse cinemas in Bundoran.
All in Eclipse cinemas. They're all open from tomorrow. September 5th is open today. All the rest are open tomorrow. Dogman's going to be the big hit with parents and families, but it's a good weekend for grown-up movies. And it's Bridget Jones next week, so it'll be mental.
Fair play. And by the way, midterm is coming up shortly, so it might be a nice time with Dogman and everything. Hey, Colie, sorry for rushing you, but geez, that's the kind of run of the time. Look after yourself, right? And we'll chat you next week.